Welcome to Monte Carlo. Puff is on pole from Jonathan Sims and Daniel Bogdasarov. Then it's the French Championship leader, Remy Lebeau from Revo and Awful Catfish. The Red Devils start 7th from Versio and Sebastian Ocampo. Then it's Linus Eriksson from Tonelli Gabo and Devin Butler. Marcus Nelson, the 13, starts in 13th position. Then it's Charles Hernandez, Hikari Lopez and Scadlin Rotak. Then it's Lala Leclerc, master of these streets, and UK Ball down in 18th. Austin and teammate Falstad make up row 10. Then it's Kynes and Deli. Returning to the streets of Monte Carlo then for round 13. All 5 lights go on. And we go green for the Monaco ePrix, and it's an alright start from the front row men. Bogdasarov with the best start of the top 3, and you can see that draws level, and alongside in front of Jonathan Sims now tries to get past the Jaguar man coming through Casino Square. Can't get past Puff though. Going down the hill, he'll have the inside line. Into Mirabeau they come, side by side between the top 2. Remy Lebeau's dropped down to 6th, but out in front it is the Jaguar man who takes the lead. But for Remy Lebeau, a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. We've got some contact down there. Nelson's been given a time penalty. One of the pinnacles, we believe, Hikari Lopez. Yes, definitely Hikari Lopez. A lot of damage for him. And, oh, Nelson's off again. Oh, that's a backwards facing Versio, is it not? It's Ocampo and Remy Lebeau. No way! The championship leader, Remy Lebeau, is out of the race. And the Red Devil is out too. Their car's smouldering down at the Nouvelle Chicane. Can you believe it? The former teammates involved in a massive crash. I think Sebastian Ocampo might have been involved in it too. We saw him dropping down the order with Remy. But under these full course cautions now, big mover. Tonelli Gabo up to P4 off of the race start. But it's still Puff who leads here in Monaco. That's some of that Monaco carnage that we actually haven't seen for quite a while. Last time you can really think about a Monaco race being hectic, I think you do have to go back to season 19. Linus Eriksson with the fastest first section of anyone. There were new directives that came in with the ERL 02's announcement that were enforced, I believe, as soon as season 21, maybe later in season 22, that basically caused drivers to be less aggressive with cars because they were a lot less stable. And Versio's got a lot of front wing damage. Ocampo was just given a 5-second time penalty. There goes the man from the Philippines up into 9th position, keeps it out of the wall. Thankfully, we've already seen 2 drivers who have failed to do that. Deli, he's dropped to the very back of the pack in for UK Ball. Team principal and owner and driver of the number 89 Power Motorsports car, as Jonathan Sims has set a new fastest lap of 109.183. This man, oh, Leclerc, the home driver's in the wall. Oh, Versio, look at how much damage he's got, but he's just forced, we believe, Leclerc into the barriers. UK Ball's just been given the fastest lap of this race. But those two now have no downforce at all. But just continuing on my point, as we watch Versio try and defend from these guys, UK Ball was pressuring Awful Catfish, and the team gave Catfish an unbelievable set of upgrades, and that's allowed him to run top 6 all day today so far, and also get a very good qualifying in. Oh, Rosak is in the barriers. Rosak in the wall. Kynes has been given a time penalty for causing a collision, and he was wall riding. And UK Ball is in the barriers. Winner of this race in season 18. Oh dear. And you know, he was pressuring Catfish. He was pressuring Catfish with, if you don't provide some good results soon, we will have you fired. And you know, with an RQ waiting in the wings for that seat at Power Motorsports Formula E from his days in Champ Car, where honestly, the Hong Kong man did well, but I wouldn't say it was too evident of rewarding a Formula E seat. I mean, he's already had that opportunity multiple times. Versio now into the pits. Soft tires going on, they fix up that front wing. Just carrying on that not Q point. In my opinion, that driver, yes, he is a great man. He's a great driver too, but in terms of drivers from that country, between him and the younger Tommy. I feel like Tommy is the faster driver of the two, for one, and for two, well, in IndyCar, and RQ was alright. He wasn't bad. He was far from being the worst on the grid or anything like that. Champ Car looks to have a very enticing grid next season. But still, an RQ, I feel, found a pretty good home. A pretty good place to try and go after a championship in America compared to globally. So, we'll see what this next outing in the top level of the ERL, the World Championship of the ERL, will bring if he does get that seat. From what we can tell, they are hoping that Catfish finishes within 20 points of UK Ball at the end of the season. Probably, possibly less than 20, but from what we can tell, it's around that. In comes UK Ball, gets that front wing repaired, and they've put him onto another set of softs. Very interesting. Now, if you use the ERL Discord server, you would have seen this already, but all of the Champ Car and Formula E liveries have been officially announced, and this is just my in-race advertisement to those of you in the ERL who can design liveries. I do need your help to finish off these Ace Championship liveries, but we are watching Awful Catfish there rise up the hill of Anthony Nose and go down it with 13 laps to go, the race with the most amount of laps. And if you're wondering why we're here in Monaco instead of Buenos Aires, well, Buenos Aires, Paris, Oslo, my goodness, I'm forgetting 2 other rounds as well, but they have all agreed not to be on the calendar. Those places on the calendar were provisional for those countries, those cities rather, as Leclerc comes in to get that front wing fixed but has to serve that time penalty. For those cities, they were provisionally on the calendar if they were able to get the funding ready for this season, because it was confirmed that they should be racing next season. They should be racetracks next season, but for 3 of them, they couldn't get the funding in, and for the other 2, I forgot what the other 2 were, but what we do know is that they were just straight up not able to compete because the tracks weren't ready yet. I have forgotten those other 2 locations though, so that's on me. But the race leader, Yuapov, has come into the pits, and behind him, Daniel Bogdasarov as well. Is that Jonathan Sims also coming in? No, he stays out, but Revo is into the pits. Another set of softs going on for the DS Hyperdrive man. He needs to put that car into hyperdrive, and you know, if Yuapov can manage to win this race, that will close up the title battle once more. It really did seem like Remy LeBeau was going to just start running away with the championship with 2 very consecutive finishes, and just how dominant he was in Homestead, aside from the strategy, because Bogdasarov absolutely bossed it on the strategy. If it wasn't for Daniel's amazing strategy, that second and pit stop near the end of the race would have been a wake-up call to the entire rest of the field, and in fact it was, we believe, because, well, I mean, he did just go right through the field. Bogdasarov now in front of Devin Butler coming through the tunnel section here in Monaco, heading down the hill. The Italian flags there in homage to the fact that this is in Monoposto. We may advertise ourselves as just another racing league, but this is a sim league in Monoposto, just to remind everyone of that fact. Gabo's come into the pits. I think Jonathan Sims is still out there though. Hard's going on. Onboard cameras beginning to chug along on low bit rates, probably for you guys. Devin Butler's coming to the pits as well. Linus Eriksson with the fastest lappers. Here is Yuapov on the back of Awful Catfish. For Catfish and Sims, if their strategies are to work out, they're going to need a caution to come out soon. And I don't think we're going to get one. Yuapov just went right past Catfish, and he is chasing after that number 11 car. Ocampo currently in front of his teammate, but for how much longer? Because one of these 2 has fresh softs and the other one has highly worn mediums. I think we should see the absolute limit of tyre wear for the hard tyres being around 10. Oh, Hernandez is in the wall. Charles Hernandez rides the inside wall, gets it back up and running though. 75% car damage. We've seen worse. We've seen much worse, but still not great. Riding on board with Verstheo, who came into the pits at the end of lap 4. Definitely, at the very least, doing the 2-stop. We could see this man to a 3. Well, we're going to see a second stop quite soon, I think. Catfish pits. But Sims stays out for his 9th lap on the same set of medium tyres. What is the strategy at play here at Sims Motorsport? What is their strategy plan? Because Puff is now right on the gearbox of this man. After Sims comes in, he's going to re-emerge in this race, probably around Catfish, probably even behind him. So 8th, maybe 9th, near Devin Butler. This is very much a very interesting strategy to be a part of. But here comes Puff. We've been riding on board with him for the longest while now. He looks for the move, has to try it, going through the swimming pool. The guts on that man to just get past Sims and take the race lead there. Unbelievable, and it's beautiful. In comes the number 11. Couldn't do 10 laps, but 9, still a remarkable stint side by side between Austin and Verstheo. You can see Falstad and Nelson were doing the same thing too. Nelson getting past Oscar as Verstheo in the slipstream of the TGR man in front. Ocampo serving his time penalty and goes onto the hard tyres. He's doing the 1-stop. Will that be a winning strategy around these streets? It could be, but I believe that means everyone has now made their first stops. Verstheo comes in, same lap as Ocampo for his 2nd stop of this race. He's on a 4-lap offset to the rest of the pack, so he could be on for a 3-stop as well, while we believe that Ocampo is only on for the 1. But at the same time, these are hard tyres going on. Oh no, Falstad is the only man who's gone out there every lap with the same set of tyres. And through Sims Motorsport's potential miscalculation here in the strategy department, Revo now finds himself running 3rd, and Linus Eriksson, the Season 3 IndyCar champion, now finds himself running 4th. We've got some darkening clouds here in Monaco. Rain around these streets can be a real leveler. It really can be what some of these teams are looking for. In the case of Mercedes, not at all. They're running 18th and 19th, and they need good strategy to help them out. Gabo closing up to the back of Linus Eriksson. These two have raced each other, although briefly in IndyCar. Here comes the Dragon driver, and he moves up into 4th. We've had confirmation, I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned this as Falstad comes into the pits. We've had confirmation that this livery that you'll see, the pink cherry blossoms and the red accents of Nissan, will be gone by the time we reach next season. And that's all down to Tonelli Gabo. And it's all down to him, what he said. And hopefully we'll see some great racing, some great motivation from that Italian driver. Sims from the United Kingdom looking for a way past Linus Eriksson with 7 to go. Don't know if he'll make a way past though, as the 28 rises up the hill, heads down it, and still stays out. This man is doing what he can to extend his soft tire stint, but how well will that work? Because Catfish is now closing up. Sims has moved up into 5th. He was 3rd on the starting grid, so he needs to get up to this man for Revo to break even at the very least. Falstad came out of the pits in 20th, by the way. 20th and last position, if I might add. Cable's come in for his 2nd stop. I don't think this man has run top 10 all day. What tire's going on for him? I think those are mediums for him, because Akari's in, puts on mediums. Cable's in, puts on mediums. Might be able to make it to the end of this race, but there will surely be a heavy pace drop off. Sorry. Looking back with the 97, the sole French driver in this race, we've got a Monegasque driver and a French driver, but we don't have the Frenchman who leads the standings heading into this race. And I think, yes, Revo dives into pit lane. Medium's going on for him. Now, with the outlook on the conditions being as they are, as Linus Eriksson pits, We don't know if going for the two-stop dry is the right way to go. Devin Butler's also in. These guys all coming in for soft compound tyres to get off of their soft compound tyres, and we know that they can make it to the end. We just don't think the drivers are going to want to make it to the end with those tyres, because those are some real slow tyres by the end of your stint. I mean, you can just take a look at UAPF coming out. Look at the top two, how much they're having to manage their softs. Gabo isn't closing in on these guys, not because that Dragon Nissan car is slow, not because he's not a skilled driver, and not because the top two are blasting away because of their pace. It's just because the hard compound tyres suck. They are bad race tyres. As in comes UAPF for his second stop. Elliot Deli's been given a time penalty going down the hill, and it's side-by-side action there. Was UK Ball involved in an incident? No. So that's Falstad and Deli, we believe, is Deli and Falstad going side-by-side. Is he going to try and go for the lunge on? And Salas Kynes too, almost contact between those drivers, but they keep it clean. Gabo now leads this race. 1 second in front of Jonathan Sims and 4 seconds up on Awful Catfish. Falstad and Deli still going in 2x2 as Sims is closing in on his former employee. It's always fun to just point out, hey, that guy used to drive for Sims Motorsport, as Hernandez has come into the pits. Just heading down the hill with the Red Bull Sims driver of, well, Sims himself, as UAPF going around the outside of Awful Catfish, moving up into third. I feel like another stop is on the cards for the top brass. I think of all of these guys, the only one who could try and extend and their tyres is Jonathan Sims and Tonelli Gabo, the race leaders, but they're going to have to work together and defend from UAPF. They're not going to be able to fight. It could be definitely an intriguing final few laps around these streets, as Bogdasarov's gone past Catfish as well. Jonathan Sims, he's still not found a very good place to make the move. Ericsson has set the fastest lap in 7th, and a long way off the back of Revo. The top 6 are in a league of their own today, and that's 6 different constructors. That's Nissan, Sims, Jaguar, Renault, Power, and Hyperdrive. And out of all of these drivers, only one of them is not the man that you really think of when you think of that team, and that is Catfish. Deli's come in for his second stop as we watch UAPF now close up to the back of Jonathan Sims. This man has been a heat-seeking missile all day. He's been looking to bounce back after 2 quite terrible finishes, and he goes down the inside at Anthony Noses. Sims pits. UAPF is now running second on lap 16 of 19. We've got 3 to go to the checkered flag. Catfish is coming to the pits as well, and here is that Scotsman in the slipstream of Tonali Gabo. Before Formula E, these two, I believe, only had 1 interaction in IndyCar. If not, this is the major overtake between these two. UAPF up into the race lead here in Monaco. I don't think this man has won in Monaco before. He's in his 3rd Formula E season, debuted in season 23, won the championship last season in 24, currently seems to be locked in for the chase for the cup. As you can see, Bogdasarov and Gabo, they were going 2x2 there. Bogdasarov up into second, and I think Revo is going to replace an Italian flag on that podium if he can do 6 laps on his mediums. We think UAPF can do 5 laps. We think Bogdasarov should be able to do 5 laps on his softs as well. Gabo, don't count on it. We've seen some drivers do 10-lap stints in Austin and Leclerc, but to try and do that again would be highly unwise. As Leclerc trying to defend from his teammate, but he's left the door wide open down the inside. Don't think he's going to want to fight that one too much. But they're still alongside each other, because this is Leclerc's home race, you have to remember. He's the only Monegasque driver in the history of the ERL. And heading down the hill, he doesn't want to give this one up. He wants that top 15 finish. He's probably screaming over the radio just to tell Akari, hey, let me in front, keep me in front. But his tyres are 11 lap old. Hard compound tyres, the same as Francis Austin's, and 1 lap older than Nelson's, 2 laps older than Gabo's. Deli's just punched in the fastest lap, but that fight is over for Leclerc. That fight definitely over. We're on to the penultimate lap here in Monaco. The only man who can topple Puff right now is Daniel Bogdasarov. Revo, by the way, he's made his way up into 3rd, but he's probably going to want to hang back. Here comes Jonathan Sims into the top 5. Goes the number 11 in front of Linus Eriksson. This man's idol, Mr. Monaco himself, Graham Hill, as he makes his way through Casino Square. And I don't think he's actually won the Monaco Grand Prix, or the ePrix rather. Don't think he was around for the Formula 1 era of the ERL. Don't think he or his team was able to take victory around these streets. If they were, it was probably in Season 22 with Catfish. If it wasn't him, almost certainly was UK Ball. Bogdasarov 1.6 seconds away. You know, it's one thing to catch a driver, but especially around these streets, it's an entirely different thing to make the pass. And with that gap being as stable as it is, I do not believe that Bogdasarov is going to be close enough. Kynes has just been given a time penalty for causing a collision, goes down the inside on Lars Leclerc, stays alongside, and we've got rain! Oh my goodness, rain on the final lap! We knew there was darkening clouds, but the rain has arrived at the very end. Sims is now up into 4th position. This is uncharted territory for so many drivers out there. Fastest first sector's just gone to the Britain. I think Puff should still be fine with these conditions going through the Nouvelle chicane, but we're sure that the swimming pool chicane is going to be filled with it. Absolutely flooded. So heading through that very same swimming pool chicane for the number 9, his championship run gets back on track today. It's Puff who takes victory in the streets of Monaco. Behind him, Daniel Bogdasarov and Revo. Sims just about got past Gabo on that final lap as well. No one was lapped. And somehow it's raining in the tunnel, because that makes sense. I mean, it is downhill, so of course there would be rainwater in the tunnel, but we saw a little speck of rain, so a drainage pipe that was not clear. 13 laps on the hard tyres. These guys are insane. Ocampo would gain 1 position from his... No, he stays where he is. Started 9th, finished 9th. Far from the lofty heights that this man hoped to achieve, and probably down to the strategy, probably down to the track being quite bad to overtake at. It would have been a lot worse for a lot of these drivers if it was round 15 instead of round 13, so maybe the cancellation of some races not all bad, and in some teams' views. And can Deli get past the 2 CGRs? I don't think he can, but dead heat. That's Volstad in front by less than 1/10 of a second. And here is your podium. Champion, not quite champion, and a 4-time champion. It's Puff who takes victory from Daniel Bogdasarov and Revo, your top 3. Bit of a less interesting race after lap 1, due to, of course, having the championship leader knocked out by Puff's own teammate. Although those 2 former teammates, so there could be a lot of biblical scenes in the garage area. Let's just put it like that. As for the rest of your finishers, you have Sims from Gabo, Ericsson, Catfish, and Butler. Then it's Ocampo and Nelson, the top 10. Outside of the top 10, you've got Versio, New Cable, Akari Lopez, Hernandez, Folstad, Austin, Deli, Chiklerk, Rossack, and Kynes after that penalty was applied. And your non-finishers were the championship leader heading into this race, Remy LeBeau, and the Red Devil. So leaving this race, well, Remy still leads by only 10 points over you, a puff now. Then it's Revo and a tie for 4th between Bogdasarov and Sims. Gabo's 1 point back and best of the rest. Clearly, Sebastian Ocampo 10 points up on the Red Devil. Then it's Oscar Folstad and Linus Eriksson tied with Salos Kynes. Those two would probably have to flip a coin to see who makes it into the chase at this point. Then it's U-Cable, Awful Catfish, who's currently looking good to keep his seat at Paramotorsports. Then it's Scadolin Rotak, Marcus Nelson, Akari Lopez, Clerk, Deli, Austin, Hernandez, Butler, and Versio in the constructors standings heading into the next round of the championship, which should probably be a lot shorter than this. It's Rome. Remy LeBeau's team, Red Bull, Sims, Porsche. I keep thinking it's Remy LeBeau because it's got the RB, but it doesn't have the L. Probably because they win more. Remy LeBeau's team in Red Bull, Sims, Porsche, they lead the way on 252 points. They're in front of Panasonic Jaguar, who are only 7 up on DS Hyperdrive. I was going to call them Hyperdrive Dragon, but that's not a thing. Team Edam's Renault are 4th, quite a ways behind. In fact, they are exactly 100 points down on Panasonic Jaguar. And then it's Dragon Nissan, who are 8 points back. MS Amlin Andretti, who are 1 point up on Power Motorsport. Then it's McLaren TGR, Mercedes EQ, Pinnacle Motorsport, and Mahindra Racing. We will see you guys next time then when the ERL returns.